Before 2023, Las Vegas was already a world unto itself. A sprawl of glitzy, gleaming casinos and hotels, the city of Las Vegas has long been a gambler's paradise, coming replete with all the splendor and decadence of a high roller and the gritty, nasty forms of fun that make the adult entertainment world what it is. But visit Las Vegas anytime after September 2023, expecting Caesar's Palace and the Venetian to look just as they do on the postcards, and you're liable to be caught off guard when you arrive by the inexplicable and absolutely gigantic sphere parked just off the Las Vegas Strip. Luckily for you, Vegas hasn't been taken over by roulette-crazed aliens, or if it had them, they got nothing to do with the sphere. No, the gargantuan structure sitting at the heart of Sin City is there for a good reason. To take the raging bacchanalia that was the city of Las Vegas and elevate it into something its past generations of architects could not possibly have conceived. One part performance venue, one part movie theater, one part billboard, and one part engineering breakthrough, the Las Vegas Sphere has the potential to usher in a new era of global development. So once upon a time, in 2018, two US entertainment giants decided to announce an idea. The companies in question, Madison Square Garden Company, better known as MSG, and the Las Vegas Sands Corporation, decided that the city of Las Vegas needed a little something in order to update it for changing times. Working with an architectural group called Populous, who've worked on major sporting venues from Yankee Stadium to Wembley to Australia's Marvel Stadium, MSG and Las Vegas Sands jointly announced that they were going to bring something the people of Las Vegas had never thought to ask for: a really, really, really big dome. They envisioned a massive spheroid shape, big enough that its widest point would sit at over 100 feet above ground level before tapering downward towards an imagined lower pole that the audience wouldn't see. It would have to be huge, ridiculously huge, big enough that it could be seen from all across Las Vegas, and it would quickly and inevitably become synonymous with Sin City itself. It would be a venue on the inside capable of hosting not only pre-recorded content, but also live shows as well, and it would be an experience unlike any other for the human body. It would include surround sound like you've never heard before. It would include a screen so massive that it might as well be a virtual reality headset, and it would integrate the other senses of the human body in a way that no other venue had endeavored to achieve. It wasn't meant to be a one-night destination either. Instead, their sphere would be integrated into a much larger entertainment complex featuring new hotels, new bars, and new business spaces that could keep a patron hooked. Just before we continue, I did want to take a moment to tell you about a game changer in comfort, and that is today's fantastic sponsor, Sheath Underwear. Wearing Sheath is amazing. Look, I'm wearing Sheath right now. I've got another unused pair of Sheath right here. And these aren't just comfortable, they really do change the underwear game. Look, if you're tired of boxers being too loose or briefs being too tight, Sheath is the answer there. They're made with stretchy fabric using moisture wicking technology, keeping everything cool and comfortable. Plus, they've got dual pouches, and that might seem a little bit unusual at first, but they're actually pretty clever. Perfect for staying cool in summer and during workouts. The pouches keep everything in place. And look, even if you prefer a traditional fit, just don't use the pouches. These are still incredible pairs of underwear. And with new materials like bamboo and mesh, they're even better. I like the mesh ones, particularly for working out. And guess what? Sheath isn't just for men. Ladies, they've got a brand new women's bamboo line, and it's not just underwear. They've got base layers for winter, perfect as a holiday gift. So head to sheathunderwear.com, use the promo code MEGA for an exclusive 20% off. It's the most comfortable underwear you'll ever wear. And now back to today's video. When work began on the Sphere in late 2018, the plan was for it to be finished by 2021. With such a tight timeline, production moved along at a breakneck pace, something that the construction industry of Las Vegas is pretty accustomed to. Starting in March 2019, the 18 acres of land that would become the Sphere and its complex were excavated out, with enough earth moved to fill over 30 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Within 6 months, the Sphere's basement and ground level were already complete, with intent to use the underground space as a separate venue of its own. From there, the thing shot upwards like a weed in the back garden. Between October and December, the sprawling structure grew by some 50 feet or 15 meters. Then, starting in February 2020, it was time to bring in the big guns. For a project of this size, the developers needed one of the biggest cranes in the world, called a DMAG CC8800, which had to be shipped in pieces across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans from Belgium, and then driven across several hundred miles, split between a convoy of 120 tractor-trailer vehicles. there's any confusion about just how big this crane is, it actually requires the use of a different, smaller crane in order to assemble it, and when complete, it stands at some 580 feet tall. Around the same time, the sphere hit the outermost bulge of its design, where again it rose 100 feet above ground level. From here on out, the builder's job would be to keep building upward while drawing the shape inward, eventually meeting at the apogee of their majestic new creation. But, alas, the Las Vegas sphere fell victim to a situation far outside of its architect's control, COVID-19, which announced itself by flipping a double bird not just to the entire world, but to the ongoing work in Vegas. Within a couple of weeks of the pandemic emerging, the sphere project stuttered to a halt, brought down by a mixture of supply chain issues and local regulations. But as that nasty coronavirus found out, it would take more than a global health crisis to keep the sphere down for long. By August of 2020, construction had started back up in Vegas, and in the next 15 months, the builders would keep going at the same pace and schedule that they'd adopted previously, with some modifications to the overall timeline in order to compensate for the supply chain issues that lingered behind. From here, the sphere's construction found its rhythm. First, build upward with concrete, then form an outer layer with the steel, and finally build the steel domed roof. There were a number of technical challenges involved with that process, not least the sheer weight of the roof component itself at 13,000 tons. That's roughly the same as about 2,000 fully grown African elephants. A big part of that weight was one single compression ring, which by itself weighed about 170 tons. Indeed, it was so big that it had to be welded together on site and lifted up by that giant crane that we mentioned a moment ago. This would form a foundation for the innermost portions of the roof. And when it came time to build those, they were done in the design of a truss, or 32 trusses to be exact, all extremely heavy themselves and arrayed to mutually bear the load of the entire roof apparatus. When the spheroid shape itself was completed in June of 2021, you'd think that this would have been cause for celebration across Las Vegas, but in reality, building the sphere's initial shell was the easy part. It certainly hadn't been simple, but at least it had been done in a way that could rely on policies and procedures that had been done elsewhere at relatively similar scale. The same could not be said for the sphere's exoskeleton, which was designed to include a series of LED light panels that all told would rise a full 30% taller than the height of the dome inside it. These LEDs were built with the express purpose of being visible several miles away, seemingly displaying complex images that shouldn't show any breaks or inconsistencies when viewed from a reasonable distance. To do this, crews first completed a 10-inch thick concrete pour over the entire sphere, which, by the way, added about 10,000 tons of additional weight to the apparatus. Then they built a steel frame over that, weighing 730 tons, which was designed to bear the weight of the LED screens and audio system for the sphere's exterior. Then the exterior LED screens were installed and covered in a protective shell that ensures that the sphere's whole effect won't be disrupted if it sustains an impact from an overenthusiastic pigeon. Inside the sphere, the interior LED display was constructed at the same time, and the seating, internal architecture, and the audio systems got squared away as well. By the time the sphere first started displaying images on its exterior on the 4th of July 2023, the MSG company had split off a company called Sphere Entertainment, which, if you could believe it, was responsible for the Sphere Entertainment Complex. Who would have thought it? By then, crews were putting finishing touches on the interior and wrapping up the last few items on their to-do lists before their creation was ready to go public. The sphere got its staffing in order, started generating major buzz with its exterior images, and let 2023's social media environment do the rest of the work. By the time it opened on September 29, 2023, it was hotly anticipated across the world as a possible next generation in entertainment technology, and was it ever? With a project like this, we here on Megaprojects are well accustomed to the feeling of building ourselves up for a technology demonstrator that's supposed to change the world, only to learn that the people who built it could barely change a light bulb. But so far, where the Las Vegas sphere is concerned, that has not happened. Far from a situation where the other shoe was just begging to drop, the sphere has performed magnificently in the early weeks of its tenure. And perhaps more importantly for our purposes, it's earned major praise as the world has learned more and more about what the sphere's got under the hood. We'll start with the basic facts and figures. The sphere sits at an overall height of 366 feet above ground level, 112 meters, with a width at its very broadest point of 516 feet or 157 meters. With a square footage of 870,000 square feet or 81,300 square meters, the sphere became the world's largest spherical building when it opened. The exterior features 580,000 square feet or 54,000 square meters of LED display, which can basically be programmed to show anything Sphere Entertainment deems worthy of broadcasting across southern Nevada. Up close, you wouldn't recognize it as a screen at all. Instead, it's a bunch of hockey puck-sized LED clusters which act as individual pixels at long distance. That's to say, there's no continuous screen here, just a whole lot of dots working together in real time. When we travel inside the space to a primary concert venue that has seating for 18,600 people, unlike an arena or some other sort of circular stage design that the Sphere's outwards appearance might suggest, the audience sits facing a single direction. Arrayed in a steep curved wall of seating with standing room down below, of its 18,600 seats, about 10,000 have haptic technology, which integrates the feeling of touch and visual and audio experiences to form a full-body experience. A haptic experience, that is, an experience of touch and motion to simulate real full-body sensation, is achieved by reproducing audio at ultra-low frequencies so that chairs vibrate and shake in real time. The Sphere also includes mechanisms to create wind and disperse scents that are meant to be part of the viewing experience, and the 160,000 square feet or 15,000 square meters of LED wraparound screens inside comprise the highest resolution display in the entire world. That resolution, by the way, is 16K, something our beloved YouTube won't be achieving for a very, very long time. The Sphere's audio systems feature 3D audio beamforming, which greatly enhances audio quality over loudspeakers and allows certain audio content to be sent to specific parts of the audience while other people across the arena hear something different. The audio setup also features wavefield synthesis, which allows sound engineers to manipulate what the viewer perceives as the origin point of a certain sound, say right next to their ear, instead of blasting down from the ceiling. The building's amplifiers are built to be highly efficient, using about 40% less energy than traditional amps would, but pumping out sound at fantastic quality. As for what this all cost, put together, the price is as astronomical as you might expect. $2.3 billion US, all said and done. The first performers at the Sphere were none other than U2, who've accepted an artist-in-residence position at the venue for the following several months. To hear the Sphere's executives tell it, this artist-in-residency idea might be the Sphere's course of business for a while, a prospect that would almost certainly attract big-name performers with the once-in-a-lifetime chance to play a space like this. Ideally, the Sphere will host about 5 or 6 residencies in the span of a given year. The Sphere has also screened feature films, starting with director Darren Aronofsky's film Postcard from Earth, which was preceded by a presentation from Sphere Entertainment itself that meant to highlight and explain some of the Sphere's prodigious capabilities. The presentation bills the Sphere as a feature for 22nd century immersive technologies, showing off those technologies in a story about the evolution of technology, culture, art, and science across human history. On the outside of the Sphere, the people of Las Vegas have been treated to everything from a view of the surface of Mars to an AI data sculpture, whatever that is, to a massive brand display by the US's largest football league, which turns the Sphere into depictions of the helmets of each of the 32 national teams. It's featured a giant emoji looking judgmentally out over the Las Vegas metro area, and a range of advertisements for everything from the new Trolls movie to the television show Dancing with the Stars. Online, it's prompted tongue-in-cheek speculation that the damn thing is too bright, active, and universally visible that people are going to crash their cars while trying to look at it, although whether such fender benders have yet to occur, we can't say. The shows presented inside the Sphere and the images and videos displayed across the exterior have the potential to be unlike anything else in the world. All in all, it appears that Sphere Entertainment have taken a massive technological leap forward and stumbled upon nothing short of a goldmine. The company has benefited from massive, well-deserved attention on social media like this, and speculation as to what exactly they might do next. And the answer appears to be a business trip to London. Despite some pushback from East London residents who worry about the light pollution and congestion that a new Sphere might cause, the company and the City of London appear more than happy to invest in a collaborative effort to replicate the success of Sin City. Where the Sphere concept will go next after London could be anywhere from Tokyo to Dubai to Berlin to Miami. But whichever city comes close to securing a deal with Sphere Entertainment is going to have a very tough time saying no. It's not often that we get a megaproject that appears to be such a resounding, unrequited success, and will grant you, it's even less often that the initial appearance of success is able to sustain on a scale of years or even decades. But as of right now, the Las Vegas Sphere appears on track to rival the very biggest successes of the global entertainment industry. And no matter what its future holds, it's already set a new standard for venues that claim to be on the cutting edge. If the Sphere can sustain that success, continue to adapt, and perhaps even proliferate itself around cities in the world, then there's no telling how it might shape entertainment for the years and decades to come.